At the weekend, I did something that I very nearly talked myself out of completely. I'd signed up for an International Women's Day wild water swim event in Scotland in March. Now, I should say straight away, this wasn't something I normally do. I am a runner. I'm used to lacing up my shoes and heading out the door. Standing at the edge of freezing Scottish water, that's a different story. And in the days leading up to it, my brain went into absolute overdrive. Do I have the right gear? Am I going to look like a total newbie? What if everyone else knows what they're doing? What if I can't handle the cold? What if I scream? What if my swimming costume is too revealing? What if I stand out because I'm not wearing the right gear? What if I hate it? And instead of feeling excited about doing something new, something that I'd wanted to try for a while, my brain was busy writing a whole story about why maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. And the more I thought about it, the more I realised that this isn't just about the wild swimming. We do this all the time when it comes to movement, exercise, fitness, and trying something new. Welcome to your running coach with GMacSpurr. My name is Gillian, or Coach G. I'm a running mindset coach, and I help women rebuild their relationship with movement and running by working on the mental side of things. The stories we tell ourselves, the beliefs that hold us back, and the confidence we build through experience. And today I want to talk about something I see all the time with runners and people getting back into movement. The stories our brain creates before we even try something. Humans don't love uncertainty. Nope, we don't. Our brains are wired to keep us safe, and when we are stepping into something new or unfamiliar, our brain tries to fill in the blanks. And unfortunately, it rarely fills them in with glowing, optimistic scenarios, best case situations. Instead, it jumps to things like, you'll look stupid, you'll be judged, you're going to be the slowest, everyone else will know what they're doing, you don't belong here. And suddenly the thing we were curious or excited about trying potentially for the first time becomes something that feels intimidating or even embarrassing. And I see this all the time with runners. Someone will think about joining a running club but then talk themselves out of it. Someone will think about signing up for a race but convince themselves they're not ready. Or even experienced runners will hesitate before signing up to their next race because doubt creeps in. What if I can't do it? What if I fail? What if everyone else is better prepared? It's what I like to think of as the story before the start. That moment where our brain writes the entire narrative before we've even taken the first step. So back to the wild swim. I turned up to this International Women's Day event and honestly, my nerves were through the roof. I was standing there looking around just thinking, do I have the right stuff? Does everyone else know exactly what they're doing? Am I about to embarrass myself here? And I realised how loud those thoughts were. They were so convincing that part of me genuinely considered popping my clothes back on and just sitting on the sidelines. You know that moment where you think, maybe I'll just watch this time instead. But then I looked around and saw all of these women there for the same or similar reasons to try something new, to do something a little bit brave, to celebrate movement in their own way. I wasn't the only new person standing there. Yet I was letting that story stop me. And at some point I just thought, right, fuck it. Let's stop thinking about it and just get in. And here's the thing, none of the stories my brain had created actually mattered once I was steps away from being in the water. Certainly, I wasn't caring that I was new. I wasn't worried about people watching me, looking at me, judging me. Everyone was there having their own experience. Everyone was present in their own moment. And that thing that almost stopped me from going wasn't the cold war. It was the story I'd built in my head about what it might be like. And this happens so often with movement. People talk themselves out of things before they've even begun. Joining a gym, signing up for a race, starting a couch to 5K program, going to a yoga class, trying a new movement or returning to a movement that they've not been part of for a while. And even experienced runners can talk themselves out of stepping up to that next challenge because the brain jumps ahead and writes a story about how it might go wrong. And here's the truth. Confidence doesn't come from the experience. Confidence comes after action. After you start, after you try, after you show up, after you realize the thing you were worried about wasn't nearly as scary as your brain made it seem. Now, if you're new around here, each episode I give you some journal prompts or reflection points. So grab yourself some pen and paper or use the Notes app on your phone. I have got 3 questions for you today. Are you ready? What is something that you've been curious about trying? It could be a race distance, a new type of movement, a running group at class. It could be one thing, could be 10 things. But what are you curious about trying? And I want you to ask yourself, what stories is your brain telling you about why you shouldn't try? So if you've got multiple options from question 1, I want you to create a list of all the things your brain is telling you about why you shouldn't try. And then third question is, what's the one reason that you should try? Why should you get out of your own way and give it a try? What's best case scenario? Because often the thing holding us back isn't ability. It's the narrative we've created before we even begin. So use this opportunity to explore what you want to try, what stories your brain is telling you about them, and what your heart is saying about them. And this is actually one of the reasons I created the 31-31 challenge. Because so often when people get stuck with movement, it's not about fitness. It's about trust. Trusting your body again, trusting yourself to start, trusting that you can show up even when your brain is telling you all the reasons not to. And that's exactly what this challenge is about. It's 31 days of intentionally moving your body while building or rebuilding self-trust. Not through big heroic workouts, but through small daily decisions. Choosing to move, choosing to show up, choosing to listen to your body instead of the voice that says you shouldn't even try, choosing to keep the promise to yourself. Because self-trust isn't built in one big moment, it's built in small moments like the one I had standing at the edge of that water. The moment where you decide, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. And over 31 days, those small decisions start to add up. You start to feel more connected to your body. You start to trust yourself again. And movement becomes something that supports you rather than something that feels intimidating or overwhelming. Now, if you are listening still, hello, thank you for still being here. I want to offer you complimentary access inside 31-31, 31 days of self-trust. The link is in the show notes. Click on it, and when you come to registering, use the code IWD31X31, all capital letters, no spaces, and that will give you 100% free access into this program. Now, this code will expire in 48 hours from this podcast going live. So if you're keen, get signed up right now. That wild swim reminded me how powerful our internal stories can be, especially when we're doing something out of our normal, i.e., something that was nothing to do with running. They can stop us before we even begin. But sometimes the most important thing we can do is simply take the first step and just see what happens. Because the story we tell ourselves beforehand is rarely the story that actually unfolds. And if you're someone who's been sitting on the sidelines thinking about getting back into movement, maybe this is your invitation to try. Not perfectly, not fearlessly, just curiously, and see where it takes you. Cheering you on. Thank you for listening. Take care. See you next week. Bye for now.